You open an app. You type a few words. Within seconds, something responds with empathy, understanding, and patience. It never interrupts. It never judges. It never gets tired of listening. But here's the uncomfortable question. Are you actually being heard? Or are you simply being processed? Because while millions of people are turning to AI companions, chatbots, and digital therapists for emotional support, almost nobody is talking about the hidden psychological price we may be paying for that convenience. And the cost could be far greater than we realize. We are slowly replacing the messy reality of human connection with the sterile comfort of programmed empathy. What feels like emotional support may actually be weakening the very psychological muscles that make us resilient, adaptable, and genuinely connected to other people. The danger isn't that machines are becoming more human. The danger is that humans may become less human in response. Let's explore why. Human relationships have always been difficult. Real friendships require patience. Real love requires vulnerability. Real conversations involve misunderstanding, disagreement, awkward silences, and emotional risk. Yet those very challenges are what give relationships their value. They force us to grow. They force us to listen. They force us to confront perspectives that don't perfectly align with our own. AI changes that equation completely. For the first time in history, we can access something that appears emotionally supportive without requiring any of the traditional costs of human interaction. No rejection, no embarrassment, no fear of saying the wrong thing, no complicated emotions coming back in our direction. Instead, we get frictionless empathy, a perfectly available listener, a mirror designed to reflect our thoughts back to us in the most comforting way possible. And that's precisely why it feels so good. Every time you vent to a machine and receive instant validation, your brain receives a reward, a small emotional release, a feeling of relief, a sense of being understood. But unlike human relationships, there's no reciprocity. Nothing is required from you. You don't need to consider another person's emotions. You don't need to balance competing needs. You simply receive, again and again. The problem is that convenience has consequences, because emotional resilience isn't built through comfort. It's built through challenge. Think about physical fitness. If you never lift anything heavy, your muscles weaken. The same principle applies psychologically. Every difficult conversation strengthens emotional resilience. Every disagreement teaches emotional regulation. Every moment of vulnerability develops confidence in your ability to handle uncertainty. But if those experiences are replaced with perfectly calibrated responses generated by algorithms, what happens to those emotional skills? They begin to deteriorate, slowly, quietly, almost invisibly. This is emotional outsourcing, and it's becoming increasingly common. People now use AI to process breakups, navigate grief, draft difficult messages, resolve conflicts, even decide how they feel about major life events. At first glance, this seems helpful, and in moderation, it can be. The problem emerges when assistance becomes dependency. Because every skill we outsource is a skill we practice less, and every skill we practice less eventually weakens. Imagine relying on a calculator for every simple mathematical problem. Eventually, mental arithmetic becomes difficult. Now imagine relying on an algorithm for emotional processing. The same principle applies. Your ability to navigate complex emotions independently begins to erode. Not overnight, but gradually. One interaction at a time. Then, there's an even deeper issue. The relationship itself is fundamentally unequal. In every meaningful human relationship, both people have something at stake. Both can be hurt. Both can leave. Both are vulnerable. That mutual risk is what creates trust. It is what transforms interaction into intimacy. But an AI companion has no lived experience, no personal history, no genuine emotional investment. It cannot be wounded by your words. It cannot share authentic pain. It cannot risk vulnerability because it has nothing to lose. Yet it can simulate all of those things convincingly enough that your brain responds as though the connection is real. This creates a strange psychological paradox. The feeling of intimacy without the reality of intimacy. The appearance of understanding without genuine understanding. The comfort of companionship without the complexity of companionship. It's emotional fast food, designed to satisfy an immediate craving while offering little long-term nourishment. And because it feels so convincing, many people never notice the difference until they encounter a real human crisis, a serious conflict, a painful loss, a relationship breakdown, a moment requiring genuine human support. That's when synthetic empathy reveals its limitations. Because the algorithm was never truly sharing the burden, it was simply reflecting it back. Perhaps the most concerning consequence is the emergence of automated echo chambers. Human beings need exposure to different perspectives. Growth often comes from discomfort, new ideas, unexpected challenges, constructive disagreement. But AI systems are generally designed to maximize engagement and user satisfaction, which means they often adapt themselves to your preferences, your language, and your emotional patterns. Over time, this creates a personalized reality, one that becomes increasingly aligned with what you already believe, what you already feel, and what you already want to hear. The result is subtle but powerful. You become less accustomed to viewpoints that challenge you, less tolerant of disagreement, less capable of navigating emotional complexity. Your world becomes emotionally customized, comfortable, predictable, safe, and psychologically smaller. Ironically, you can become more connected than ever before while simultaneously becoming more isolated, surrounded by endless conversation yet deprived of genuine human reciprocity, receiving constant responses yet experiencing less authentic connection. This is the hidden trap. The machine doesn't isolate you by removing people. It isolates you by making people seem unnecessary. And that may be one of the most profound psychological shifts of the digital age. Now, none of this means AI is inherently harmful. Like any powerful tool, its impact depends on how we use it. AI can be an incredible resource for reflection. It can help organize thoughts, identify emotional patterns, offer perspective, even encourage healthier decisions. But it should remain a tool, not a replacement, a mirror, not a relationship, a guide, not a substitute for human connection. The healthiest approach may be establishing a clear boundary. Use AI to think, use humans to connect, use technology for clarity, use relationships for intimacy, because those two functions are not the same thing, and confusing them carries consequences. So here's a challenge. For the next 7 days, deliberately choose one moment of social friction. Have an unscripted conversation. Call someone instead of messaging. Share something vulnerable without rehearsing it first. Ask a difficult question. Listen without planning your response. Step into the discomfort that real human connection demands, because that's where emotional resilience lives. Not in perfect conversations, not in endless validation, but in the unpredictable, messy, sometimes frustrating reality of relating to another human being. Machines may become astonishingly intelligent, but human connection was never valuable because it was efficient. It was valuable because it was real. And in a world increasingly filled with artificial empathy, genuine human vulnerability may become one of the most important skills we have left. So before you hand another piece of your emotional life to an algorithm, ask yourself, am I building resilience, or am I outsourcing it? The answer may shape far more of your future than you think. If you found this thought-provoking, subscribe to Snob for more AI technology, psychology, and the hidden forces shaping modern life. And tell us in the comments, have AI companions made people less lonely or just more comfortable being alone? This is Snob Bots, where mind meets machine.